Righto, time for another episode in the kitchen. For all my chef friends out there, I know you've been hanging out for this one, especially my brother Nathan. This one's just for you, mate. I'll get some bowl spinning action happening real soon. So today we're going to do calamari, crumbed calamari with homemade chips. We're going to do some chips in the oven, and I'm going to make a garlic aioli to go with it as well. So got a fair bit on the go, but it's all going to be pretty simple, and I'll run you through it all now. So I've already done a little bit of prep. Obviously gone and caught the squid, caught the calamari. I don't know if you caught the last episode, Attack of the Kraken. So I'm going to turn some of those into some crumbed calamari. Already been cleaned, and I have separated the wings, hoods and heads. Today we're just going to use a couple of hoods. Those hoods I've already chopped up, so I've sliced them into calamari rings, and I've actually got them sitting, I've had them sitting in milk for the last 6 to 8 hours. And what that does is helps tenderize the calamari, the squid, by breaking down some of the proteins. I think the lactose in the milk sort of breaks down some of the proteins in the squid and tenderizes it. So that's all ready to go. Sitting there nicely, been tenderizing in the fridge. But I think I'm going to skip past that and move straight into the chips. So I'm going to start prep on the chips, get those in the oven because they're going to take 45 minutes to cook, and then we'll get back to crumbing our calamari. I've peeled and sliced, I'm going to say roughly cut the potatoes, and now I'm going to give them a rinse. Once they're rinsed, I'll pat them dry, or dry them out on some tea towels, and then toss them through some salt and olive oil, and then they're going in the oven. Oven's already set to 200 degrees, waiting for my roughly cut homemade chips. So this is what we're working with. Already cut, ready to go, so don't need that. And get them over here, get them rinsed, and then get them in the oven. Alright, so we've dried out our chips. Now they're going straight in the bowl. Straight in the bowl. I'm going to throw in some olive oil. Exact measurements don't really matter too much. Good drizzle. Throw some salt in. Again, just get some good crackage happening. And then we'll give them a toss. Right, so they're all coated up now. Time for the oven. Righto, so the chips are in the oven. Got that set to 200 degrees. I think it would normally take 30 to 40 minutes, but it might take more like 40 to 45 because I did cut those chips a little bit thicker than I normally would. Now they're cooking away, we can get started on the main ingredient, which is our crumbed calamari. I'm going to use a classic crumb method. Going to go the flour, egg and milk combined, finish off with the crumb. I find that method gives you a better crumb in the end. I'm sure there's other methods, there's quicker methods, I know that definitely. However, this one is the one that I prefer because I just find the crumbs stick better and you end up with a thicker crumb. So I'm going to get started on that. Flour him up. Straight in there. Nice and moist, and then crumb him up. That's the end result. Calamari of the crumbed variety. Yeah, maybe a little bit of a slow process and a bit of a longer process than what some people might use, but this is the way I like to do it. Definitely, well, I've found that it ends up with a much more evenly coated crumbing. Works for your schnitzels and anything else that you want to crumb, but sometimes you can find that skipping a few steps, you end up with way less coverage on your crumbing and not as good an end product. Righto, so we've got some progress. The calamari is now crumbed. The chips are cooking along nicely, and it's time for me to start looking at the aioli. But check this out. That is it was 3 southern calamari hoods. And now it is a giant pile. Now it's a giant pile of crumbed calamari ready for the fryer. Righto, time to make a start on our aioli. I've got my egg yolks, I'm going to beat those, whisk them up, then I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil, whisk that through, bit of salt, add in my crushed and chopped garlic cloves, I've got 2 of those, and then whisk it again and see how it tastes. So it's time to get mixing. So I've got my egg yolks, garlic, bit of salt, whisked it all up. Now I'm going to slowly start adding a little bit of olive oil and keep whisking again. So back to it. Righto, so the garlic aioli came out pretty good. Been given that a pretty good mix up. Done a few taste tests and it's on point now. So I'll give you a look. See the consistency of it. Nice and thick, not too thick though, so it's still a bit saucy. But that's our garlic aioli done. Time to start frying some calamari rings. Righto, squid is done. I've had a taste test and I can confirm it's delicious. That's what we're working with. I'm going to get the chips out now. Chips are done, calamari is done. Time to plate it up and get stuck in. Alright, so we're finished. We are done. We've got our crumbed calamari, homemade rough cut oven baked chips with some garlic aioli, a few little lemon wedges to serve. I've already done a taste test, but I'll give you another one. That is so good. The footy's on, there's some hungry mouths to feed, and I'm gonna go get stuck into this as well. So good. Hope you enjoyed that one. If you love your squid recipes or you love eating your squid, chuck a recipe idea in the comments below, because I'm definitely going to be getting a few more of these over the coming months. So any new ideas are always good. So time for dinner. Cheers.